What is 1311 divided by 3? Let's find out using a method known as long division. So how would you perform long division? You begin by taking the number after the division sign. So this 3, we call this the divisor, and you write it by itself. So go ahead and write this 3 by itself. And now what you want to do is you want to write the long division operator. The long division operator is simply just a symbol that indicates that we're going to perform long division. So just go ahead and write the long division operator. It looks like something like this. And inside this long division operator, you're going to write the number that is actually being divided. So the number before the division sign, 1311, we call this the dividend. So go ahead and write the dividend inside the long division operator, 1311. So how are you going to undertake this operation? How are you going to undertake this division? Well, you're going to have to do this by first considering the first digit of the dividend. So this dividend, 1311, has 4 digits, 1, 3, 1, and 1. And begin by focusing on the leftmost digit. So begin by focusing on this 1. And ask yourself, what is the highest number times the divisor that is less than or equal to the first digit of the dividend? Or, in our particular case, what is the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 1? What is the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 1? So let's write a few candidates over here. Let's think, for instance, about 0. 0 times 3 is simply equal to 0. So is 0 a good candidate? Well, 0 times 3 is equal to 0, and 0 is clearly less than or equal to 1, so 0 is a potential candidate. Now think about 1. So let's think about 1. 1 times 3 is equal to 3. So is 1 a good candidate? Well, 1 times 3 is equal to 3, and 3 is not less than or equal to 1. In fact, 3 is greater than 1, so 1 is no longer a good candidate. So 0 has to be the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 1. So go ahead and write this above the 1. Write 0. Okay, so now that we have this 0 written here, what you want to do is you want to take this 0, multiply it by the 3, and write the result under the 1. 0 times 3, we already have it over here. 0 times 3 is just equal to 0. So we're just going to write this under the 1 and put a little negative sign in front of it, and then put a line underneath the negative sign and that number. And now just perform the subtraction. So remember, we're only focusing on the first digit here. We want to know what is 1 minus 0. Well, 1 minus 0 is simply equal to just 1. And now just drop down the next digit from your dividend. So the next digit from 1311. So this 3, go ahead and drop it down 3. And now ask yourself the same thing. What is the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 13? What is the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 13? Well, let's look at the candidates here. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 is clearly less than or equal to 13. It's less than 13. What about 1? 1 times 3 is 3. 3 is less than 13, so 1 is fine. What about 2? 2 times 3 is equal to 6. 6 is less than 13, so 2 is fine. Let's move on. What about 3? 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 9 is less than or equal to 13, so 3 is fine. Let's move on. What about 4? 4 times 3 is equal to 12. 12 is still less than or equal to 13, so 4 is fine. What about 5? 5 times 3 is equal to 15. But 15 is no longer less than or equal to 13. 15 is in fact greater than 13, so 5 is no good. So out of all of these candidates, what is the highest number times 3 that gives us a result that is less than or equal to 13? Well, it's clear that that number has to be 4, because even though, for instance, 3 times 3 gives us a result that is still less than or equal to 13, 3 is not the highest number times 3 that gives us a result that is less than or equal to 13. 4 is the highest number times 3 that gives us a result, gives us 12, that is less than or equal to 13. So 4 is the number we were looking for. So go ahead and write this number on right above the 3 in the dividend. So above the long division operator. So go ahead and just write it over here beside the 0. Write the 4, and now take 4 times 3 and write the result under 13. But we already did this. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. So let's just go ahead and write this result, 12, then write a little negative sign in front of it and perform the subtraction. 13 minus 12 is simply equal to 1. And now just go ahead and drop down the next digit. Just drop down the next digit, 1. So we're dropping down the third digit in our dividend, 1,311. The third digit, 1, 2, 3, is this 1. We're dropping it down. And now do the same thing. Ask yourself, what is the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 11? Well, we already have a few candidates here. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 is less than or equal to 11. Yes, so 0 is a good candidate. 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 is less than or equal to 11. So 1 is a good candidate. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is less than or equal to 11. In fact, it's less than 11. So 2 is a good candidate. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is still less than 11. So 3 is a good candidate. What about 4? 4 times 3 is 12. 12 is not less than or equal to 11. 12 is in fact greater than 11. So 4 is no longer a good candidate. So our candidates are only 0, 1, 2, and 3, because all of them yield results that are less than or equal to 11. So what is the highest number out of 1, 2, and 3? 0, 1, 2, and 3. Well, the highest number is 3. So 3 is the highest number times 3 that yields a result that is less than or equal to 11. So go ahead and write this 3 beside the 4. 3. And now take this 3, multiply it by their divisor. So take 3 times 3 and write the result under 11. So we already did this math. 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So just go ahead and write the 9 over here and put a little subtraction sign. Write a line underneath and ask yourself, what is 11 minus 9? 11 minus 9 is simply equal to 2. And now just drop down the next digit from the dividend. So drop down this final digit, this 1 from the dividend, 1. And so now ask yourself, what is the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 21? 0 times 3 is 0. 0 is less than or equal to 21. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 is less than or equal to 21. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 is less than or equal to 21. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is less than or equal to 21. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 is less than or equal to 21. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 is less than or equal to 21. What about 6? Well, let's try it out. 6 times 3 is equal to 18. 18 is still less than or equal to 21. 18 is in fact less than 21. What about 7? 7 times 3 is equal to 21. Well, 21 is exactly equal to 21, but that's fine. We're trying to find the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 21. Well, it's going to have to be 7, because if we go one more, if we go, for instance, 8, well, then 8 times 3 is just equal to 24. So 24 will put us over the highest number times 3 that is less than or equal to 21 will clearly be 7. 0 to 7 are all candidates, but the highest amongst them is 7. So go ahead and write the 7 beside the 3. And take this 7, multiply by the divisor, so 7 times 3, and write the result down here. So 7 times 3, we already did the math, is equal to 21. Write the 21 in here. Put a little negative sign in front. And then perform the math. 21 times 21 is equal to 0. And so the result of the division of 1,311 divided by 3 is equal to 437. So your result is up here, 437. And this part of the long division procedure, we call this the quotient. So your quotient is 437, and this is your solution to what is 1,311 divided by 3.